Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Unlocked, the podcast that inspires you to create a successful, happy and positive life and to live the best version of you. Hosted by me, Ricky Locke, professional magician, speaker and trainer with a current addiction to Cadbury's caramel eggs. Yeah, I can't get enough of them, they're everywhere. Now, as this podcast is designed to help you create success and live a happy and positive life, don't forget you can head to the show notes and you can download my free resources and free ebooks, 10 tips to improve your productivity, and even how to create awesome videos with a smartphone. Head to the show notes of this episode and download your free resources today. And I've also got exciting news for you all. 19th of March 2021, save the date, because I am running a free webinar on confidence on camera. If you host live videos on social media, maybe you present on Zoom or MS Teams for work, and if you absolutely hate or even feel nervous about showing your face and speaking on camera, then this is the event for you. I'll be teaching you all the tricks and tips that I've been using over the last 15 years to convey confidence on camera. I'll be sharing simple tips that you can implement right now to remove those pesky ums and ahs when you're speaking live on camera, how to remove stress from being on camera, even simple tips and tricks to improve the mindset to get you in that right mindset for confidence, and even subtleties such as framing, lighting techniques that will make it really easy for your audience to watch and engage with you being on camera. It's the perfect webinar that's going to help you improve your confidence being on camera. And it's free, and it's on the 19th of March, so watch this space for more info soon. And in today's episode, I want to share a slice of inspiration from another one of my heroes, Mr. Steve McDermott. I recently was involved in his latest book launch, and I want to share a step from this book, which I think is absolutely golden. If you are an overthinker or you procrastinate a lot and you really want to create that new product, maybe release that new online course, or even want to start a brand new business, then I think this step is going to really help out. Now, thank you, Steve, for inviting me to the book launch. It's an absolute pleasure to come along to that book launch. And the book is called How to Be a Complete and Utter Fuck Up, 47.5 Steps to Lasting Underachievement. It is the third edition, and it's an absolutely brilliant book filled with gold. 47.5 steps, actually, to be precise. Now, the book was first published in 2002, and it was designed for people who wanted their personal development delivered with a sense of humour. It's filled with so many great tips that will inspire you to live the best version of yourself. Even though it says how to be a complete and utter fuck up, it is the complete antidote to all those trashy self-help novels that make you just go, ugh. But I do want to share step 47.5 because I think even though it's the last step in the book, this is really, really relevant to helping people with overthinking. And I'm going to share the passage with you. The step is 47.5 and it's called Don't Stop Doing Everything by Halves. That's if you do anything at all. When Julius Caesar invaded Britain, he decided to have a quick question and answer session with his massed ranks of legionnaires on the cliff tops above what is now Dover before they went in search of their first battle with the ancient Britons. So who has the first question, said Caesar. One of the soldiers' hands went up. Great Caesar, is it true that these Britons have thousands of fierce war machines with sharp blades that stick out from the wheels designed to cut our men's legs off at the knees? Murmured Caesar. I don't know the answer to that one, but is there any more questions? A second soldier's hand shot up. Oh, mighty Caesar, is it true that these Britons are 10 feet tall, have 2 heads, and cover their naked bodies in blue paint to scare the enemy before they go into battle? Oh, I don't know that either, replied Caesar with a hunch of his shoulders. Right, lads, I've just got time for one more question before we get stuck in, shouted Caesar. A timid hand went up from the ranks. Caesar, I've heard these Britons are led by a fierce warrior queen and have sworn to her that they will die to the last man rather than surrender, said a worried-looking centurion. Sorry, lads, I don't know the answer to that either, responded Caesar. But what I do know, he continued, is that if you do look down on the beach, I've burnt all the boats. So we better win. I love this passage. I think it's incredibly funny, but also it's incredibly relative. When I think about my own journey, when I left full-time employment to go into self-employed, I had so many people out there saying, what are you doing? I think even my family said, oh, but how are you going to pay your mortgage? And I think I replied to me mum and dad and said, yeah, just like a plumber or electrician pays their mortgage, mum. I'm going to get some work. But I think a lot of people panic in that self-employment role because it's the financial security, it's the uncertainty of work. And like Steve says in the book, going into self-employment, actually, no one can fire you because you're your own boss. And as Bev said to me a few months ago, that you've got more control because no one can fire you, right? And like fixed salaries in a PAYE job or in a career, it's fixed all the time. But now, as self-employment, there's no limit to what people could earn. But I think the reason that I wanted to share this was because of the tips about overthinking and also procrastinating. Like I said at the start of this episode, I've just said a free webinar out on the 19th of March. And that has been procrastinating in my head for about 6 months. And All I've done is I've just burnt that bridge. I've made a commitment, I took some action and said, right, free webinar on the 19th of March. And because this is on a podcast, it's global, which means now people are going to say, well, Ricky, you bloody said it now, you got to do it. So for me, that is an example of that burning the boat. And I think sometimes we need to take that action to really just focus on some of the things we want to achieve. There's thousands and thousands of ideas that are running through my mind. And I think I just need to take more steps and more action. There's lots of great stuff in this book that kind of will make you live that best version of yourself. But continuing that theme, there's a great quote, which is, whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power and magic in it. Begin it now. And this is by Girth, and it's an absolutely fantastic quote. And it's, as Steve mentions in the book, it's a life-changing quote to one of his participants in one of his workshops. And I think there's just a point of just start today. Don't get stuck into the detail. Just start today. Put something out there and work towards it. Heck, even a lot of my ideas in the past and some of my greatest ideas was I've said yes to something and then worked out how to do it later on. But think about like this in the context of just taking some simple steps to make that action. Like me in my example of making a commitment for a free webinar. I've put it out there now. I've burnt my bridge. I can't go back. I've got to now deliver it. And I think to finish with that, there's another last quote, which is the last quote in the book, which is by Norman Vincent Peale. And it's the advice of throw your heart over the fence and the rest will follow. And I think that is a testament to what we should be doing. We should all be just taking some action. Don't be afraid. Don't get caught up into what might go wrong or what might not happen. Change it to what if? What if actually it goes really well? What if it's a fantastic idea? What if it's a life-changing moment? You'll never know until you do it. So burn that bridge. Take some action. Don't literally burn a bridge. You'll probably go to prison for that. But in the context of this, do something to take some action. And you never know where it might go. So there you go, really short episode there. And let me know if you like these kind of short revised episodes. It's quite good for me because I'm quite lazy and I don't like editing my podcast. But a shorter episode, lots of phrases. I've got lots of books that I love. And as this one, highly recommend it. Go check it out. How to Be Complete and Utter Fuck Up by Steve McDermott. He's coming on the podcast in a couple of weeks' time. And it's going to be an amazing episode. Can't wait for you to meet this guy. If you don't know him, head to YouTube. You can see his wonderful video called The 4-Minute Rule. Or even head to Amazon, you can buy a new copy of his book, How to Be a Complete and Utter Fuck Up. It's absolutely amazing. As always, thank you so much for your continued support. It truly means a lot. And if you liked this episode, it brought you a smile or brought you a tear, head to Apple Podcasts or Podchaser and leave me a review. It helps this podcast get spread out to so many people. Don't forget, save the date, 19th of March 2021 for my free webinar, How to Create Confidence on Camera. Thanks for listening to this episode. Take care, and I'll join you on the next episode of Unlocked.